It is now 10 a.m. on Wednesday, March 20th, 2025. And last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, or shortly after 1 a.m., I had to call the Greenville group for a third time in the evening because there was a pretty disturbed, aggressive, and violent psychopath slamming things against the wall behind my toilet just after 1 a.m. when I quietly and silently went into my bathroom and pretended like I was about to use the toilet. I suspected that the person who kept making noise behind the wall of my toilet, which is the intermittently vacant and empty premises of the bathroom of 78, I suspected that the person who had been throughout the entire evening smoking, burning, and propagating intense amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke into my bathroom and into this corner right here from the inside of the bathroom behind this wall is the same person who was housed in that unit between 2013 and 2022, at which point Mr. Elisayev, the property manager and friend of this person, moved this person out of 78 into another unit in this building, but continues to permit this person to access the premises of Unit 78 behind this wall. So last night, I pretended to go into my bathroom very quietly at 1 a.m. and acted as if I was about to use the toilet, and was not going to use a toilet, but pretended like I was about to because I wanted to see if the person who had been smoking intense amounts of marijuana and electronically assaulting me from the area behind this wall right here throughout the evening was Jasmine Irizarry, the same sex-offending, psychopath, hate-stalking piece of shit who has been hate-stalking and aggressively harassing me from the inside of that bathroom right there for 11 years now. And sure enough, as soon as I went to my bathroom at 1 a.m. and pretended like I was about to use the toilet, but I was not about to use it, that psychopath started getting all aggressive, intrusive, and violent against the wall behind my toilet, which means that is Irizarry, the sex-offending psychopath who has been getting aggressive against the wall behind my toilet almost every single time I've tried to use that toilet when in this unit since 2013. Mr. Oleg Elisayev has repeatedly bragged that Jasmine Irizarry is a super talented hacker who, quote, according to him, can get into anything and take care of anything. Irizarry itself has referred to itself as an IT expert and a structural engineer who gets paid to solve problems, and she has constantly been present against the wall behind this kitchen area right here since 2013 when Mr. Elisayev moved her into the unit behind this wall. She continues to live in the building, according to Mr. Elisayev, the property manager. And because she's a very mentally disturbed psychopath who can't leave other women alone and has issues with other women, she is being continually permitted to access the intermittently vacant, unrented premises of the bathroom behind this wall. Mr. Elisayev has also indicated that Irizarry is Greenville's surveillance expert. So when I quietly go into my bathroom at 1 o'clock in the morning, when maintenance is not in the building and it's not maintenance that's making smacking noises behind this wall, and pretend like I'm about to use my toilet, I am literally fact-checking whether or not the psychopath and sex offender is in that bathroom or not. A normal person would not get violent against the wall behind my toilet only when I'm about to use that toilet or when I'm pretending like I'm about to use that toilet. But Irizarry has done this almost every single time that I've tried to use that toilet over the last 11 years. That is like a 95% confirmation rate for the fact that not only is she using surveillance devices in my bathroom and has access to the sounds or video footage of what I do in that bathroom, but she also becomes compulsively aggressive when I am about to use the toilet. And that was confirmed last night at 1 a.m. because I don't think that the normal tenant who lives in there, according to the property manager who said, oh, we have a new tenant in there, it's a new tenant. Well, that new tenant acts a lot like the old tenant, which is the same sex offender psychopath who compulsively becomes violent and aggressive against the wall behind my toilet whenever I try to use that toilet. So I everything that I say is what is happening. That is exactly what is happening. So I had to call the Greenville group at 1:15 last night and report that not only was Jasmine Irizarry their sex offender, hate stalking, obsessive psychopath, psycho trash, sitting in the bathroom behind this wall and smacking the wall behind my toilet last night at 1 a.m. when I quietly went into my bathroom and pretended like I was about to use the toilet, but she was also resuming her use of a directed energy device to electronically assault me while I was in my bathroom pretending like I was about to use a toilet. And I had already left 2 voicemails for the Greenville group at 6:30 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. yesterday, Tuesday, March 19th, because she had Irizarry, that is, the IT expert and structural engineer who's a mentally disturbed, sex offending psychopath. And that's a fact. You can look that up. She had been electronically assaulting me for 2 hours while I was lying on my bed yesterday evening between 5:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Irizarry itself, and I'm going to refer to Irizarry as an it because literally anybody who acts like this is not a person. They're simply like a vehicle for obsessive harassment. That's not a human being. She chooses not to control her behavior. She chooses not to do anything about her behavioral issues, her obsessive need to harass other people. She chooses not to do that. You have control over your behavior. If Irizarry has a control over her behavior to make statements on social media about how she is using a directed energy device and has it mounted on a tripod, if she has that much control over her actions, then she can also stop her need to harass other people. She chooses not to. So when I refer to her as psycho trash, these are people who deliberately engage in all kinds of harm, harassment, and destructive behavior towards other people, places, and things that they choose not to do anything about. I called the Greenville group at 1:15, told them that Irizarry had once again started smacking the wall behind my toilet and was resuming her use of a directed energy weapon to electronically assault me as soon as I went into my bathroom and pretended like I was about to use a toilet. And since that voicemail, there has been no further use of a directed energy device. The intense and sickening amounts of cigar marijuana smoke that were filling my bathroom and this area last night are no longer coming from that area. And there's no wall smacking. So that last voicemail at 1:15 a.m. finally did the trick. And when something stops, when an entire set of dysfunctional, psychotic, and obsessive behaviors from one person suddenly stops after you leave a third voicemail for their handlers, then you have just established a cause and effect relationship between two factors that are trying to seem like they have nothing to do with each other, but that actually do. When I call the Greenville group and repeatedly report that Irizarry is using a directed energy device to electronically assault me when I do one of 3 or 4 things, very specifically in the privacy of this unit that nobody should have any knowledge of, and when that use of that same directed energy device suddenly ceases within, 20 to 30 minutes of me notifying that one group that seems to be completely unrelated to the other group, the other factor, then there is a connection. And I have just established that connection between two variables that like to seem like they have nothing to do with each other, but that are actually immediately and directly connected via a primary cause and effect relationship. There is a primary cause and effect relationship between these two variables. I'm talking about Mr. Alisayev, the property manager of the Greenville Group, and Jasmine Irizarry, the paid and sponsored psycho trash psychopath who apparently is being somehow provided with compensation for aggressively going after and harassing tenants that Mr. Alisayev does not like. And I've been on the receiving end of Jasmine Irizarry's constant, obsessive, hate-stalking, surveillance-based aggression and harassment for 11 years now. And when I call the property manager and leave a voicemail at 1 a.m, telling them I'm going to be filing attempted murder charges against them because the use of a directed energy weapon can cause death when you're using it on somebody and you continuously, when they're lying on their bed, the electronic assault, the constant electrical current that is running through them via the use of a directed energy weapon that concentrates electromagnetic output into a directed stream that can then be used on people, places, and things and goes through walls, just like all energy electromagnetic output goes through walls. That's how you get Wi-Fi. That's how you get a cell phone signal. That's how your router works. That's how your smart TV works. It gets signal through the walls, you idiots. You stupid, pathetic rejects who don't understand how anything works. A directed energy weapon is simply a cell phone on steroids, okay? And you can direct the electromagnetic output from your cell phone if you can turn it into a directed energy weapon. That is what Irizarry has been doing for 5 years now. And so when I'm lying on my bed with absolutely no electronics around that bed, I don't have a router, I don't have a TV, I don't even have a radio. My cell phone operates on a Wi-Fi hotspot that does not emit enough electromagnetic output to seriously assault somebody. When she's using a super concentrated electromagnetic beam, it sounds like science fiction, but it's not. They had cell phones in the 1940s and nobody knows about that, but they did. Then she can potentially kill somebody. Somebody can have a stroke. Somebody can have a heart attack. They can have a blood clot that gets dislodged by the electromagnetic assault and goes into their lungs or into their heart or into their brain and causes an aneurysm. They can have a seizure. So I told the Greenville group in my voicemail that I was going to charge them with attempted murder if they continue to permit their paid and sponsored psychopath, Jasmine Irizarry, to use an electronic assault weapon to electronically assault me when I lie on my bed or when I try to use a toilet or when I try to take a shower. Immediately, the use of this directed energy device has stopped. Not a single blast from that device, not a single pulse of outburst of output from that device has occurred since approximately 1:45, 2 o'clock a.m. this past night, because the use of a directed energy weapon is attempted murder. You can kill somebody by using that. I'm pretty sure there's no gentle setting. There's no like low, medium, and high. How badly do you want to hurt this person? It is an entirely like single-use harassment device that can kill people. Just watch 60 Minutes. Just watch CBS News. They both put out some really fantastic hour-long documentaries on the use of Russian operatives favoring directed energy devices to harass people here in the United States. It's almost entirely used by Russians for some strange reason. And the Greenville group are Russian. I mean, they are owned and operated by a Russian family or a group of Russians. Oleg Aleseyev, Alex Kritnik, Victoria Kritnik, Boris Kritnik, they're all Russians. And they seem to really favor and sponsor Jasmine Irizarry because every single time I've mentioned Irizarry's constant, aggressive, violent smacking, banging, intense smoke propagation to the staffers at the Greenville group, they say, oh, we'll tell the owners, we'll let the owners know that she's acting up or whatever. They're obviously sponsoring her. I mean, either that or they're friends with her, they're letting her live here. But either way, it's a sponsoring kind of situation. They refuse to address her behavior. They refuse to address the fact that she has bragged on social media in writing to contaminating the water to this unit, which I am continuously unable to use. I keep having to go down the hall to the common bathroom, jump out of my shower because the water suddenly stinks like vomit 20 minutes into my shower when I am clean and I'm covered with soap and shampoo. They're literally refusing to do anything about her constant aggressive harassment behavior, even though she's violating the lease and she's literally causing me to have to go to court and file restraining orders against her and the Greenville group. They do nothing about her behavior because she is one of them. They are literally using her. But there we go. Cause and effect relationship established. There have been no further pulses or emissions from Irizarry's admitted use of a directed energy device since 2 o'clock this past morning, and it is now like 10 a.m. So cause and effect relationship established between two variables who like to pretend like they have nothing to do with each other, but are immediately and directly connected via a two-way cause and effect relationship.